So, what happened to Tesla today? What happened? Well, Tesla started the day at about $435. Then, then it lost all the way down to $405. I will show you. What does it mean? What's going on with Tesla? Because then, during the day, the stock kind of moved up and up and up and up. And frankly, right now, the way we stand, we are about back to 425 almost. So we didn't lose any money. I mean, from the day before, we were at 425. We went up, during the morning, during the pre morning, the stock went up to 44, 435. I say, hey, this is great. I guess this is a Trump situation going on from yesterday, and then it just went from 435 all the way to 405. So 425, 435, 405, back to 425, like nothing had happened. What does it mean? What is going on? Well, this is what I called correlation versus causation. Case in point, let me share with you. Let me share with you the screen so you could see what I'm talking about. Okay, so take a look at this. This is quite interesting. Look what has happened to the stock. Look what has happened to the stock since this morning, right? Remember what happened yesterday at 4 o'clock? I mean, Monday, technically. And then 10 a.m. See this? We closed around 425, and then we did very well. So what's going on with this stock? I mean, we're at 425. Before you know it, we go up to 435, and then essentially we retrace back. This is the mystery. Now, this is a mystery that we need to understand. And the reason why we need to understand it is because, well, if you want to make money in the stock market, you need to understand what is going on. You need to understand what is driving stocks. And I will show you, I will explain to you what's going on so that you're familiar with it. And hopefully you could benefit from my. So this is Friday. We're trading. Now, of course, this was the day. Now, remember, this is January 17th. Okay, that was last Friday. Okay, we opened wide, and then as we get closer to now, we went as high and $439 on Tesla, and then as we got close to the weekend. We went back down, and we didn't get anything from the day before. We were back down to 428. So then, of course, what happened in between? We have the um, January 20th, and we're saying, "Wow, Trump is it. We should gain some gain from that, right?" We got the gain in December. Remember, we got the gain in November when it was closely associated with Trump. And we kind of went as high as $500 in December. Then, of course, the Fed said what they said about 2 versus 4 cuts. And since then, we've been in the doghouse again. I mean, not down to $250, but still 420. So look what happens. And it's important for you to understand what's happening because you need to learn one stock at a time how it behaves. Why? Well, it's like everything else. You want to ride a bicycle, you got to try it every day. This is the same thing. We are purely talking about price risk here. So look, we're moving up and down. I'm up and down 4 o'clock. And then after that, we have the kind of thing that doesn't go anywhere while he's being signed in. Trump is being signed into office. And then today in the morning, little bits of excitement. and we jump up to almost $436, and we stay there. We stay there. We stay there all along. I'm saying, what's going on? I mean, it would be nice to take advantage of that when it opens. And then when you look at the news, right? We look at the news in the morning. Tesla is one of the largest EV company, but is it a buy in 2025? Is Dodge even doable? Elon Musk plan to cut as much as 2 trillion. Should you buy Tesla stock while it's still below $450? Trump's EV rollback. So this is all the news right before we open. Most stock, Tesla price target raised to $500 by this analyst. Analysts overall tech stock price target with fourth quarter earning in focus. Guru, Trump EV rollback, what it means for Tesla in the future. So you have all that news before the market opens. And then you're seeing this thing shooting up. And you say, well, but this is fantastic news, right? So the news is driving the stock. And then, look at this. And this is with some volume, right? This is this volume going on. This thing just tanks. It goes from about $434 all the way down to, and you could see with some, some strong conviction here with the volume. And of course, because of the drop, you could see the RSA right here. Now, I'm going in great detail to explain to you because I want you to do well in the stock market, obviously, right? I want you to understand what's going on. So let me make a little circle here so we could see what we're talking about. It is now, correct. So we're in the morning, right? And the stock basically collapses all the way here and back all the way. And so what kind of news do we have at 9:30 a.m.? Right as the market opened, 9:30 a.m. Okay. Let's see what happened at 9:30 a.m. Is what's going on here. Okay, so at that time we have a huge drop here. Huge drop. What happened? Well, let's see what happened at 8:30 in the morning. 8:30, 9:30. Nothing really goes on, right? There's Tesla target at $500, and for some reason between 9 and 10, I don't know. I guess some news happened that we missed because the stock drops. And by the time we get to 10 a.m., we're all the way down there. And of course, at 10 a.m., what do we see? The Donald Trump, Elon Musk woke up, explain Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. Trump orders removal of EV policy and subsidiaries. Ram FC live Dutch, maybe some trouble in paradise here. I guess we're saying, and then of course, the market says, well, Tesla stocks falls as Trump ends EV mandate. But the news came out at 10:19, and the stock was already dropping way before that. Guess we assume there were other news that were not reported yet publicly. Okay, I don't think so. But anyway, the point is that the stock is dropping. Insider reaction is Zuckerberg Trump era. Why Tesla is losing ground today? Oh, let's see. Tesla is retreating after President Trump, as had been widely anticipated yesterday, took several steps that could lower EV sales. Meanwhile, anticipation is beginning. He takes several steps that could lower the EV sales. But hold on. Why would he do that? I thought him being with Elon Musk in November shut the stock back up. Anti EV moves. Trump said yesterday he would eliminate a rule issued by the Biden that sought to mandate the two-thirds of new vehicles sold have no emission. The president added he would prevent the remaining government funds that are supposed to subsidize from being spent. And he said that his administration seeks to terminate the tax credit. But that's not new. Okay. So we are you see what they're doing, right? They're tying the news, to the stock. Someone say, well, then that's probably what explains it. The tariffs will be tremendously inflationary. Okay, that's not good. First day in office gets mixed reception. Oh, that's not good. Tesla slides as Trump waits eliminated EV tax credits. But we knew he was going to do that. That is not news. Why Tesla shares are falling today again? And let's see what this guy is saying. He's saying why Tesla shares are falling today. Shares of electric pioneer 4% and Trump that the Trump may eliminate subsidies for electrical vehicles. Okay, so that's kind of the story, but that is not new. We knew about this for a while back. These stocks are moving. Is falling today. While electric taxi stocks, Arch Aviation, and Jolly, blah, 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 diverse reaction to Trump 2.0, magnificent stock, NVIDIA. Now, by the time, now look what is going on during the day. This thing is moving back up and is moving back up and is moving back up and slowly, right? Hops and drop. And then eventually we're back to 425 people. Now, 425 is basically where we kind of closed on Friday. Causation or correlation? That's the question. And that is a question you have to be careful because at the end of the day, they're telling you, oh, you know what? You see the news, right? And you see the stock. That's all we know is going on. So therefore, we're going to tell you that EV. He said something about the EV sales, so that's probably tied to it. So we're tying the news. We're tying the news to the stock drop. This is correlation. That is not causation. What actually caused the stock to drop 34 and then to retrace it? Because unless I'm misunderstanding, even if you believe that it has to do with the electric the credits that he would be removing them, he didn't put them back at the end of the day. So that's not logical. What is logical though is that something is driving the stock. What is logical is that you as an investor, you need to know that. Of course, you need to know what's going to happen tomorrow and the day after. Now the mistake I made is I saw this thing popping up and I said, this is a $500 stock. In fact, I did a video that it was a $600. It's a $2 trillion stock. I made a couple of videos on that on this company because don't look at it as an auto company. This is an AI firm. And this is a robot. This is a bunch of different things. It's not an auto company. They don't make cars. They make something else, believe it or not. And it's valued as such. So then what is driving the stock? They're telling you, but then again, if you are a reporter and you're putting a news item, and if you are a news outlet, what are you going to tell the investors? I don't know what's driving the stock. I mean, I'm telling you, on one end, this is what's happening, and this is what's happening to the stock. So therefore, it has to be because I want you to watch my channel. I want you to read my article. My goal is not for you to make money in the stock market. My goal is for you to read what I have to say and to believe what I have to say. I'm sorry, people, but the EV tax credit is not the news story. It happens to come out again today, but it's not really news. And at the end of the day, when the stock was trading at $250 and nobody liked it, and then suddenly you got close to Trump and you say, well, Trump is going to help him, and the stock shot up to as much as $500. Where did that all go? Well, it's a correlation. The fact that he's with Trump is driving the stock up. Is it? Is it that simple? And that's why, as an investor, you need to learn how the stock trades. You need to understand the concept of price risk. And that's a lot more complicated. What is moving this stock? What is moving the stock is you don't know. What you have to know is you have to know how the name trade. Right? The name trades in a very volatile kind of way. And how do you trade a volatile name? Well, if you're in the option market, you do a straddle, right? You buy puts and you buy calls and calls and puts and calls. I mean, the stock moves a lot. I will tell you, in the morning, I was down like 20, 30%. And I was back down to zero at the end of the day. Of course, if I'd waited an hour, and that's something I would recommend highly, you know, try to trade after the market opens. Don't try to guess what's going to happen based on what you're seeing, because usually the market is a big surprise. So the lesson of the day is this: causation versus correlation. We really don't know what caused the stock price to go down and then go back up again. But we did learn one thing, is that the stock is volatile. We also learned one thing, okay? Look at the RSI. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We learned something very important. What we learn is, if we put this as a three, if we put this, what we've learned is that if you put this as a 3-minute increment, we are reaching, I mean, RSI is whenever, you're oversold whenever you reach 30. And you see this thing here, right? Oops, what happened to my circle? Look right here. Oh, I can't show it. But basically here, if you go down here, we were oversold at this point. So what I've learned today is whenever I hit about 400 and what is the amount here? This amount here is about 406. I think we get oversold at 406. That's what I learned today. Does it hold? Well, let's see. 406. See, that was us today. Whenever we hit that level, you see this? You see, that's what you're learning. That's all there is. Okay. Now, of course, this is valid maybe up to here, right? You see the spike, the spike, the spike, the spike. So what you can do tomorrow is, if we get down to 406, then it's definitely a buy, because the stock seems to be oversold at that point, independently of what is going on with the news. It's a pattern. It's like, it's going to be cold in the wintertime, right? I want to know, yeah, but I want to know on January 20th, what temperature is it going to be ahead of time? That's what we're trying to do here. And we have to learn every day.